Welcome to the Level Up Russellville podcast. Today we have William Ford. And again, this podcast is all about entrepreneurship, life in Russellville, business, and the people that are, building our community. So welcome, William. Tell us what businesses you own around here.
Okay, so I own the Crackhouse Seafood and More. Also 1/3 Entertainment Records and William Snack Shack.
Where's William's Snack Shack?
Well, currently it's in the Crackhouse, but separate.
So the Crackhouse, man, this is I first heard of y'all when y'all were on 4th Street and across from Taco Villa there.
Awesome.
And I want to hear the story about how you got to that point, how you got the name, how you got to where you are now. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, let's just, start now. So right now you're over in the City Mall, right?
Yes.
How's it been over there?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
And do you think, what are your plans from there? Where are you trying to go now?
The plan is world domination, of course. I want to be everywhere. So, yeah, just starting here.
Awesome. So back in how many years ago did you start?
I started a little bit in 2018, but I didn't get established all the way till 2019 to where I got the name. So,
okay. So what was 2018 like for you?
2018 was actually a rough year, and I ended up just deciding to just do something I love. So, which is make seafood or eat seafood. And I decided to start there and just started making it from the house. And from there, here.
Okay. Well, there's a lot in between there and here. Like, when did you start selling it? When did you realize, I'm getting good at this? Were you good for day one? Or
I started doing it from the house. I was just like, what can I sell right now that everybody would probably like or something? Then I started doing it from the house, posting pictures of crab legs. Like, the initial thing that I wanted to do was crab legs and fries, a fast food, seafood restaurant, if you will. Because I never heard of that. You could pull up somewhere and say, hey, I want 2 crab legs and I want fries with it.
Yeah.
Fast food.
Definitely not around here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I was going to do. But I started doing it from the house, just making posts. And a lot of people just took to it, started coming over there, coming to my house. And do you want the whole story right now or what?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So a lot of people started coming to the house. Me and my girl, we were, I think one day I woke up with like $60 and we had like a lot of bills to pay. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if I should turn to the streets or, do something I love. Of course, I've been done with the streets. So I was like, I'm going to spend this $60, buy some crab legs, and just see if anybody wants them. Turns out they wanted them all. Then we had to make like 3 store runs there. Long story short, I went to bed with like $1,500 from 60 that day. Like the first day. So after that, I just kept on going. And I was like, yo, this is really something I could do, or something I really enjoy doing. And then I had like all these sauces made. I made like 4 different sauces that go for the crab legs. And, after about a month of that, came home one day and it had got so big to where there was like 10 cars. I lived in a cul-de-sac at the time. There's like 10 cars wrapped around a cul-de-sac. I was like, there's no way they're all for me. And they were. So I was like, this is like I'm selling crack. Like, this is like a crack house. And that's where the name come from.
That's where the name came from. How many times do you get asked that question every day?
All the time.
Nice. And is that where you tell them the whole story?
Well, sometimes I tell you, there's a little darker past to me that, helps make this more relevant. But, I used to actually sell drugs a long time ago, way long time ago for the record.
Yeah. Well, now you kind of do, but it's legal and it's good. Taste it.
There you go.
Crab legs.
There you go. So, everything just made like a full circle in my life. I was like, I definitely was through with that life a long time ago, even before that decision. And seeing how receptive the customers were to that, it was almost the same thing. So I could have been doing this instead of ever that. So, yeah.
And it must have been quite a journey, probably 10-year journey.
Yeah, like for sure. By then it's, let's say 2018, I had got out of prison in 2006. So that's how long it's been since I ever even got desperate enough to even think about doing something like that. So just had a better option.
Yeah.
And decided to stick with it.
So when you spent that $60, the last $60 you had on those crab legs, was that, did you know it worked? How do you know it worked?
Oh, yeah, no, you never know it works. You never know. Well, no matter what you're buying, you never know with business. I just had faith. I knew that God definitely didn't want me to retract on everything I said that I would never do again. Then I had these kids staring in my face. So, I knew I wouldn't retract on none of that. And so I guess in some way it had to work. Like I was like, this better work. And it did. Ended up working way better than I ever thought of. I don't think if it would have worked that good, if I would have made $80 that day, extra 20, I would have been like, nah, I need to do something else. But I think God had his hands on my path. And he was like, today's the day where he needs to know that this could really work.
Yeah. So now as in 2018, now you've got, a large, decent sized location and a good spot. How was getting to that point? Was it pretty easy?
Nothing is easy about this. So, after the 1,500, I was over enthusiastic about it. And I, was spending a lot of money on just all my eggs in one basket. Just 1,500, we're putting all this back in crab legs, stuff like that. Then I got the reality check that was like, hey, a lot of times people don't want to just buy that. And I wanted to get an establishment because the government, Arkansas State, thank you guys, love you. They hit me up. It was like, oh, hell no. Like, you cannot be selling crab legs from your house. Like, that's super illegal. Hell no, you can't do that. So that made me think of what I needed to do legally to get it all the way legit. So they told me I needed an establishment, of course, and I started looking for that. And I think I had maybe $5,000 to spend on something. I was looking for a food truck. Couldn't find one at all. They were all $20,000 or better. I was like, man, there has to be something I could buy. And I ended up finding this guy at Fort Smith that had a shed. It was like a snow cone shed. That's what he used it for. And I was like, this is perfect because it looked like a house. I was like, oh my God, this is the Crackhouse. This is it. So anybody that knows him, I'm overly ambitious. So I think I can make anything work. So I got this place and it wasn't painted up good or none of that. It looked kind of raggedy. I was like, I'm going to make this work. So we painted it up, got it all looking really good. And I was super happy. And I talked to the health inspector. And when he came in there and did this walk around, he was like, oh no, this ain't going to work. And I was like, what? I spent it all on that. I was like, oh no. So what the hell can I do? I'm upset really at this point. I'm like, what can I do? He's like, he looked around and said, maybe hot dogs and snow cones. And, you know, the way he said it, I was like, oh, it just crushed me. But I was like, you know, overly ambitious kicked in again. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have the best snow cones ever. So I went to bed that night, prayed about it, of course. And I just started getting all these ideas of how to make a snow cone look better than just ice and syrup. So I started putting all these candies on it. You know, just if I was a kid, what would blow my mind? I did everything. Gummy worms, nerds, Skittles, whatever you could think. I just started doing that, and it kind of blew up. So that was actually the first thing that really kind of blew up as far as retail food sales. Williams Snack Shack, by the way. And after I did that, I started doing the hot dogs. You know, then I started making like crock pots with chili. That's where it comes out with Willie's chili. And it was just so good. Like, people were just damn near making me cry every day. It's just like, oh my God, I have never in my life ate chili this good. I'm just like, when my mom said it, that was the best. Because my mom always makes the best stuff to me. So, and she told me, Jamel, that's my middle name, by the way. She's like, Jamel, that is the best chili I've ever had. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm on to something.
When you need it.
And then the whole time I'm still having this Crackhouse idea in the background. So I'm like, if this works, that was on an accident, I know the Crackhouse is going to work for sure. So I just stayed true to that. And then, you know, I love children. Like, I feel like some part of my life is somehow missed some years of being a child. So them coming to me and being so happy and all the time popping up, bringing their mom, bringing their family, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do for sure. So that was it actually in 2020. So, you know, 2019, then 2020 came, which we all know what happened. The whole world shut down. And we were like literally giving people reasons to come out of their homes and like, we're going to get a snow cone today. Because now, I mean, then anybody was trying to find a reason to leave the house, and they were coming to where I was.
Where were you at that time?
I was actually on Arkansas and 920, I hope I got it right, 920 South Arkansas.
Okay. So where was that?
Like right by Sears. My dad, he owned the Sears out there. So he let me put it outside there. And ironically, it was like 3 doors down from my brother's Smack and Wings.
Yeah, just right before we started, and tell me your daddy's snacking wings.
Yeah, that's my blood brother. Like, we never had a room by ourselves. That's how much that's my brother. Like,
It's something going on in that room.
when we grew up, we got up out of there. Yeah, so it was just perfect. It was me right there. My dad had Sears and my brother. So it was just like a prophecy to me, like, oh, we didn't move to Arkansas for no reason. We're originally from Denver. So I forgot where I was at. But
Well, when you moved from Denver to Arkansas, you were young, right? You were with your parents still.
yes, I was 16 and a half.
Why did y'all move over here? Your dad had a business. Is that when he got Sears, or?
No, he worked a couple of jobs before then. We moved here. My grandma was originally from Conway, and so she was somehow living in Russellville from Denver, and I think that we decided to move here because of her and my grandpa. And yeah, we got here, and my grandma moved back within a year to Denver. So I was like, what the heck? So it's like she dropped us off here, but, you know, I chunk it all up to this was God's destiny. It was his plan. So whatever baited us to move here wasn't strong enough to keep us here for things like this to happen.
And then the entrepreneurial spirit picked up, I guess.
We've always had a entrepreneurial spirit. My mom and dad, they owned Will and Deals out here when they first moved here. My dad, he's always been the entrepreneur. So me and my brother Robbie, who owns Daddy's Factor Wings, we sold it all as kids. We sold shoes, we sold glasses, jewelry, everything that he could think of, we sold. Me and Robbie, like off of our backs. And then we thought it was like, this is horrible. What are we doing? Like, we're slaves. All our kids, all our rest of our friends are playing and doing stuff for the summer. And me and Robbie's out here going, knocking on our friends' doors like, hey, do y'all want to buy some candy bars? They're like, shut up, we know you. So, like I said, everything just came full circle. Then, too, when we got here and things started to happen, I ended up getting a studio, 130 Entertainment. I do music. My brother, we have a group, D1 Track, so we were doing that. And, we really didn't have no business sense in it. We were just doing it for the love. Then I ended up getting a studio. 4 years into getting a studio, my brother comes up with the Smack and Wings idea. So he brings his truck to my studio. Outside of the studio, then, like I said, everything else took off from there.
Yeah. And now they've got a new spot too, right? They moved over by Dollar Dental.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful.
So as you progress in your business, I'm sure you've encountered, you already told us, but you've encountered struggles. Kind of after that period where you had the food truck and things are going well, did you make any mistakes in business, like from the business?
All the time. All the time. Even now. All the time. So after I had the shed, William Snack Shack, I finally worked it up enough to where I was able to find me a food trailer. And I mean, I looked for everything. I was trying to find like a big enough trailer to put the whole shed on, because they told me that the reason why I couldn't do it is because it wasn't on wheels. So it was like technically a brick and mortar, which I would have to get an address on, all kind of stuff. So I ended up finding this trailer. And I got that, and it didn't have a vent hood. So me, over ambitious, I didn't take it slow. Again, I was just super happy, ended up getting it, and it didn't work out right away. That thing sat in front of my house after I bought it for like 7 months. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is ever gonna happen. It still said barbecue from the guy that had it before me. So, that was like more powerful than what I was gonna do. I'm just walking out subconsciously seeing barbecue on this thing. Like, will this ever be the Crackhouse? Hold on to your faith, because it did happen. I ended up painting it, ended up getting the vent hood that I needed. The health department came through, they checked it out, was like, hey, everything's good. And I opened up, and since then, it's definitely been ups and downs, because in a food truck, got to go through the winter. And in Arkansas, you got to go through the summer. So there's only 2 seasons out here. So it's either bad or bad. So, yeah, I went through a lot of no's. I went through a lot of asking people for loans. I have the vision, but nobody's seen it.
Well, what would you say now? Like, if you were going to restart today, or maybe you're a young guy, 18, 20 years old, and you want to start a business in Russellville, what would you do now?
I would definitely say be prepared for the no's, for sure. Because most people quit after they hear a couple no's. Oh, I can't do it. So be prepared for that. Have thick skin. And I would say just do it. Whatever you got to do, I would say just do it. You got to buy a trailer. It's your last money. Believe, invest in yourself. Period. Because otherwise, you're going to work for somebody. I was working a roofing job. I was working a flooring job, from the roof to the floor. That's ironic. I was working all these jobs where I still had to wake my A up at 4:30 in the morning and get it going, So if you're willing to do that for somebody else, and you'll have to do it unless you want to, not live good, do it for yourself. That's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you worked for somebody else?
I was 27, actually. Well, actually, I mean, truthfully, I just worked for my brother at Smackaleen's before I came here. But, I include that as in working for myself too, because I was there to basically soak up the game of what's going on in this restaurant before I got my restaurant. So
that's a smart move.
I think that we're never really working for somebody else unless you don't do what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you're always working for yourself. If you know hey, everything is a lesson, everything is wisdom, everything is, you can watch and say, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. Everything's a learning lesson unless, you're just planning on working for somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, do you find that a lot of people are just kind of checked out almost, just working for someone else? What do you think?
I think we're in the Matrix. I think the Matrix is its own system that's, hey, I'd rather y'all not break out of this and just work until you're expired, So that's the biggest tragedy for me, to expire and never get all these ideas that I have all the time out to the world.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be the biggest loss ever. So yeah, I think most of the world, unfortunately, right now, are checked out of the idea of even, wanting to put the work in for themselves.
Yeah, that's a shame, man. I agree with you. But, I guess your kids are pretty lucky because you're kind of, if we're talking about the Matrix, you're awake, right?
Yes.
Your kids, you see them kind of going down the same path as you?
Our kids are gorgeous. Yes, they are all. Even the ones I had, I've had 1, 2, 3. I ain't gonna name all that. I had a lot of them before I even decided, before they got to see me do it by myself as far as entrepreneurship or whatever. And there's a lot of ups and downs with that. There's times where I didn't pay my rent. There's times where I had to definitely ask landlords, hey, please just believe in me. And they were like, hell no, we get our money. Look, there's stuff like that. So the ones that got to see that, I think that they have more advantage than the younger ones who've only known me since I've had businesses. And so, they wake up like, hey, Dad, where are the customers? Just different things that I would never ask my parents. Like, where's the customers at? Or we need to do this for the customers as soon as they're able to talk, So that's perfect to me. And I think that I'm here for all of them to definitely put their mark on this world.
That's incredible, man. And yeah, I liked, when I went and checked out the Crackhouse the other day, in the city mall, and saw your family. I thought it was cool, a little family environment, growing up in the business.
Yes.
How is, so pretty much the Crackhouse has been born and conceived in Russellville. What are some things happening around here that you are looking forward to for a business owner? Where do you want to see Russellville go to make your business more successful?
And that's a good question. I think Russellville is already pretty good with business, the ones that are here. I think that they need to include the younger generation a lot more, because I think we have the ideas that can make this place be, like a Branson type of place. A place where it's not like Las Vegas. Not talking nothing about Las Vegas, but it's not a place where a lot of super crime going on as far as Branson goes, but a family place where everybody's making money and everybody's like having a good experiences. So that's where I would love to see Russellville. I could see Russellville be like that, if not better. But it's going to definitely take, hey, whatever, whoever's at the top having these meetings, y'all need to add some young people up in there so we can let y'all know how to do it.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, I think, as a young person in Russellville you're not really taught, I wasn't taught, like, who's at the top, you know?
Yeah.
When these meetings, so you don't even really know.
I have no idea
going on. So I think that's something that hopefully people can do better, is communicate. But you're one of these people in the community, man, that's building what Russellville is, right? You're adding to the business, adding to the economy, you're building things. Or is there any other projects besides world domination, expanding the restaurant empire? Any other projects you're working on for businesses or anything like that?
I'm always working on music.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my personal thing. But everything I was taught to do it towards my Father in heaven. So whether it's a job, whether it's music, whether it's the Crackhouse, whether it's raising my kids, whether it's praying for the guy that's outside, that feels like he doesn't have nothing, I was taught to just do it all like I'm doing it for God, So I would definitely love to see, I would definitely just love to see everybody end up being like that, to where it's just not even have to think about it. We're all doing our best. We're not just doing our best for, my boss doesn't like the way I'm doing it, I give up. And we're doing it towards God, that we're doing our best all the way through. We're seeing it through. And that's what I want to see ultimately in everything I do. So, I definitely want people to care about people more, including myself.
Your story is awesome. It's really showcases that whenever you do something worth doing, you're going to struggle a lot. And I know you barely touched the iceberg on the struggle.
I barely touched it. Like, there's times where I definitely felt like, I say, even last year was the hardest year ever for me, financially, business-wise, purpose-wise. Like, I found myself in the food truck by myself, cold, freezing. And I'm just like, is this even worth it? Everything was telling me, go get a job. Like, I think a blimp flew by. I said, go get a job, Dr. Joe. But, everything was telling me, like, yo, just go get a regular job, and almost give up on everything that I'm for. Everything I'm for is, hey, if you're meant to do it, you got to do that, period. Because you're going to end up seeing the maker one day. He going to be like, I didn't make you to do that. I made you to do what you're supposed to do. And I think ultimately we have a job that we owe him. I'm a one-man audience. I say that all the time. I'm not here for everybody to praise me. I look at praise and I look at criticism the same way. Whether you're criticizing me or you're saying, oh, you're doing a great job, I look at them the same way, which is that's just face value, because y'all don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So whether they're saying, oh, you're not doing it right, well, you don't know how far I came to get it at least even like this. Or they say, you're doing it wrong, well, you have no idea, I think I'm doing right to get here. So that's all I care about, is pleasing my maker. Ultimately, if I do that, everybody else gonna fall apart.
Powerful perspective. And clearly it's worked out for you so far. It's paid off through all that struggle. You've done what a lot of people fail to do. There's always businesses starting up and people quit. They second guess themselves. They lose motivation, but you've stuck it through. And I think Russellville, and we're all lucky to have you around here, man. Excited to see what else
How was your food?
The food was good. So I had the Cajun burger.
Yes.
And I swear to you, it's one of the best burgers I've had. Crab legs were good too.
Yeah, I hear that.
That being said, the wings, I didn't try the wings as my friend had. Who's got better wings, you or your brother?
I'm always going to bet on myself, but, my brother, you have to pay homage where it's due. And my brother taught me a lot about wings than I've ever known. So I'm always going to pay homage to him. But, I'm going to say me. Nah, but I don't know. That's up in the air. My brother is the guru at that shit. So, because
No, you're good. You're good.
yeah, my brother's the guru at that. And I'll never take nothing from him because he literally taught me about wings. I thought the bigger the chicken, the better the chicken. And I was eating one day, and he's like, "Really? Like, you ain't know that steroid GMO chicken?" He said, "What chicken is this big?" And I looked down like, "All right, that is an eagle." He taught me about getting the right chicken and the right texture. I've always been a texture guy, so yeah, check out Daddy Smacker Wings for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you, William. Thank you for being on the show, man. I enjoyed talking to you. And thanks for listening.